Blackwood Street sits at the edge of a quiet Ohio town where nothing ever seems to happen. Neatly trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, porch lights that flick on at exactly 7:42 p.m. every night. And at the very end of that street stands a house no one talks about. Number 47, the last house on Blackwood Street. It had been empty for nearly 15 years, until the Carter family moved in. Daniel Carter believed in fresh starts. After losing his job in Chicago, he packed up his wife, Emily, and their 8-year-old daughter, Lily, and drove to Ohio for a cheaper life and a quieter future. The house was a foreclosure, suspiciously cheap, but structurally perfect. Red brick, 2 stories, a wraparound porch, big backyard. It's too good to pass up. The realtor avoided eye contact during the closing. When Emily casually asked why the price was so low, he simply said the previous owners left in a hurry. That was all. The first night felt normal. Boxes everywhere, pizza on the floor, laughter echoing through empty rooms. But at 2:13 a.m., Emily woke up. She heard footsteps upstairs, slow, dragging. Daniel was asleep beside her. Lily's bedroom was across the hall. The footsteps continued. Emily shook Daniel awake. He grabbed a flashlight and checked every room upstairs. Nothing. But at the end of the hallway, in a small, unused sitting room, a wooden rocking chair was moving gently back and forth. The windows were closed. There was no wind. Daniel told himself it was an old house settling. He pushed the chair still. It slowly creaked back once more. On its own? The next morning, Lily was quiet. Over breakfast, she asked, "Why was the tall man in my room last night?" Emily froze. What tall man? The one standing in the corner? He was smiling, but didn't have any eyes. Daniel immediately dismissed it as a nightmare. Kids imagine things, right? Over the next few days, the house began changing. Cabinets opened by themselves. The basement door wouldn't stay shut. Cold spots appeared in random rooms, patches of freezing air in the middle of summer. And every night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., the grandfather clock in the hallway chimed. The problem? The clock wasn't plugged in. It didn't even have batteries. Emily started researching the house. At the local library, she found a newspaper article dated October 1974. Headline: Local father suspected in family disappearance. The homeowner at 47 Blackwood Street was a man named Richard Holloway. His wife and daughter vanished overnight. There were signs of violence inside the house. Blood, broken furniture, but no bodies. And Richard Holloway was never seen again. The case went cold. The house stayed empty. Until now, that night, things escalated. Lily began sleepwalking. Daniel found her standing at the top of the basement stairs at 2:13 a.m., whispering. He gently turned her around and asked who she was talking to. She responded in a low voice that didn't sound like hers. "He's been waiting for us." Daniel felt his stomach drop. Behind them, the basement door slowly creaked open. By itself, the temperature in the house plummeted. Their breath became visible. Every light bulb exploded at once. Darkness swallowed the hallway. From below, heavy footsteps began climbing the basement stairs. Slow, deliberate, thump, thump. Emily grabbed Lily. Daniel stood frozen. A tall shadow stretched along the wall, far taller than any man should be. It stopped at the top of the stairs. And then they heard it. A whisper. "You shouldn't be here." The next morning, Daniel called the police. They searched the property. Found nothing. No intruder, no break-in, no explanation. But one officer quietly pulled Daniel aside before leaving. "My uncle worked this case in '74, he said. They never found Holloway, but neighbors said he used to stand at the end of the street at night, just staring at his own house." Daniel didn't sleep that night, or the next. On the 7th night, during a violent thunderstorm, the power went out again. At 2:13 a.m., the rocking chair upstairs began slamming against the wall. Doors banged shut. Lily screamed. Daniel rushed into her room. Written across the wall in dark, dripping letters were 3 words: "Get out, now." The letters weren't paint. They were wet and red. Emily grabbed their daughter. "Oh!" They ran for the front door, but it wouldn't open. The handle wouldn't turn. Behind them, slow footsteps echoed through the hallway. The tall shadows stretched across the ceiling, getting closer. Closer. Then the porch light flickered on. The front door suddenly unlocked. They ran, barefoot, into the rain. They never went back. The house was listed for sale again 2 months later. Price reduced, no disclosures, no mention of history, no mention of 2:13 a.m. Today, if you drive down Blackwood Street, everything looks normal, except the last house. The porch light still turns on every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., and sometimes, if you look closely at the upstairs window, you might see a tall,